Hey guys, it is MissSimReno. If you are returning to the channel, welcome back. And if you're brand new, I am very excited that you decided to join me here today for another speed build. And today we are in Sulani building something modern. Shocking. I know. Genuinely shocking. I don't build here very often. I think I built here a couple of weeks ago, and that was the first time in literal months. And modern? That's not me. I don't build modern things that often, but I found a picture on Pinterest and I thought, you know what? This could be a nice little luxury rental in Sulani. I think it would be perfect. Now, what I was picturing is that this was more for a couple, so maybe for like a honeymoon, maybe just a romantic getaway, because there's only one bathroom and one bedroom. The bathroom's huge, by the way. It's like kind of this luxury bathroom. I say huge, it's not that big compared to maybe some others that you've seen, but it's a decent size. It's bigger than my normal bathrooms. And I used a ton of platforms in this build. I tried to make an infinity pool. I was trying to go all out for it because I was just really excited to actually be inspired by something that was modern. I don't build modern at all. I don't think that I do the best job with it. There are people that absolutely blow my mind with modern builds, but you can see here that I was trying to use the tool mod. Yes, I did install it once again. I have a very love-hate relationship with this mod. Nothing against the mod, it's really just me. Like, I have a very, very love-hate relationship with it because if something doesn't work the first time I do it, I just get really frustrated, and out of spite, I take the mod out of my game, and then I find an opportunity to use it again, and it works great. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is such a blessing. Thank goodness we have this tool. That's my back and forth. So I did have it in my game here, and you can see I'm trying to use this invisible foundation to be able to make a faux pool. That's kind of what I was doing. So I used fencing to shape it out. I got this invisible foundation that you can unlock with the, I think it's the BB Show Hidden Objects cheat. And then I tried to use the tool mod to lower windows down just so it looked enclosed still. But I kind of gave up on it, and not because it wasn't working. I just didn't like how it looked. I wanted to kind of frame the pool a lot more, and to be honest, I did not have the brain cells to do it at all. I couldn't figure out how to do it. I wasn't creative enough, in my opinion, so I ended up kind of scrapping the idea of the infinity pool, and you can see here that I put a pool on the second story. So instead, what your Sims will be doing is walking through onto this kind of second story patio, and then they can use the pool, which I thought was really nice. But I do end up off camera switching it to the other side. So where that lower first floor patio is, I switch it to that side instead. The reason being is because floor planning this build was my nightmare. It took me, okay, it's not going to seem that extreme when I say it out loud, but it took me like maybe a day and a half to 2 days to figure out the floor plan. And that was after a day of trying to just figure out how the build was going to look, how I was going to create some of the additional features for this modern build, i.e. using the platforms. But it came together okay, and I'm really proud of it, so I hope you guys enjoy it. But you can see that the structure is pretty much together here. I'm trying to choose some more modern looking outside lights. I used this fence very briefly and in a small way from Snowy Escape, just to kind of, I don't know if it's really adding privacy, but it's just to kind of close that space in, because this is kind of a front patio area. I don't put a lot here. I think it really just remains the umbrella and 2 chairs that I put out there, because I didn't want this modern build to look too cluttered or too decorated, especially on the structure or within the structure itself. Landscaping, I just went crazy. You know I love landscaping, especially in Sulani. I think it's so beautiful, and it's, for me, it feels very easy to landscape here just because everything is so natural and wild. And I think these low-lying plants here, I forget what the actual name is, but the low-lying plants here that came with this pack are just beautiful. You don't really have to do much to make them look really nice, in my opinion. So it was really fun to landscape, but I did keep it still fairly minimal. I used everything from Island Living that I could just to kind of blend things in. And I did use the tool mod to size down some of the trees, because there's like this threshold. You can size it down once or twice, it still looks good. You size it down one more time just to make it a little bit smaller, and it looks completely unnatural and way too tiny. So I did use the tool mod to scale objects, which, if you're thinking about the tool mod, I think that is a great use for it. That's kind of a great place to start, because instead of using the shift bracket keys, you could just use the scaling option with the tool mod. And that's kind of really nice because you can make things at different scales than you would be able to normally with the shift bracket keys. So that's something to keep in mind. But you can see that the landscaping is pretty much come together at this point, just kind of adding a few more flowers. I added these rugs, which is weird to say, from Get Together that are these stones. I thought it looked very modern and sleek, and I really enjoyed it. And then we go on to the interior where we start floor planning. Now, I had already laid down the windows in coordination with a floor plan that I had already thought of. Does that make sense? Like I had tried it out before I decided to record it because it genuinely took me so long. It took hours. There was no way I was going to put any of that footage in here. Typically, I will show the process of going through a floor plan because why not? But when it takes me hours to do, y'all aren't going to see it. It took way too long. But they do have this really, really nice kitchen. I wanted it to be very bright and modern and again, kind of minimal. But I also wanted to bring in some ties of color. I went with a lot of whites and soft wood tones, but I wanted some blues in here and maybe some greens. Just because you're near the ocean, I thought it would be very reminiscent of it and it would really blend in nicely. But I did use these Dream Home Decorator cabinets and countertops and very sleek looking appliances from the Cool Kitchen stuff pack, I think. I want to say that's what those are from. Yeah, that would make sense. I think that's where those are from. But yeah, they have this beautiful window in the kitchen where you can look into the pool. That's what you're seeing right there. It's not the ocean that you're seeing. That's the pool up on the second story. I thought it was such a nice little feature. It seemed very luxurious and very fancy, if I do say so myself. I don't actually remember how much it would cost for your Sims to rent this lot per day. I did play test it, so when I had my Sims here, they had to go on vacation because I had set it as a rental home. I don't remember how much it cost. I don't think it was too out of left field, but I can't recall. But yeah, there's this nice little island in the center of the kitchen. My Sims were able to use all the appliances and navigate the kitchen just fine. But even with this island and the two bar stools, I thought that a dining table was going to be necessary as well. So through the archway from the kitchen off to the right there, that's actually going to be a formal dining room. And granted, it's going to have a round table with like 6 chairs or something, which is ideal for a larger family. But I thought that it would be nice for 2 Sims to be able to sit down at a dining table and have a nice meal together. Maybe they meet some locals while they're here and they have them over for dinner. Maybe if you use this as an actual residential lot, this will still function as kind of a luxurious home for 2 Sims and they could, again, have their friends or family over. There isn't really room to expand if you were to use this as purely a residential lot. You would have to build more rooms and things because there's really nowhere to do that. But yeah, I don't know. I just wanted there to be a full dining table because I thought it was a really nice touch. And I think in a build like this, it really kind of exudes that luxury of having this formal dining space even when you don't need it. Let's just be honest, it's a little bit wasteful. Like you don't need it, right? But anyway, the kitchen is pretty much together at this point. Again, trying to pull in some of the blue in that tile. And then this is going to be that dining room. Just kind of trying to pick out wallpapers, which I think I chose one from either Spa Day or Snowy Escape. It's kind of like a plain white stone. I don't think it's a tile. I don't think that's what it's considered. But anyway, it's just a really pretty texture and I thought it worked perfectly for this more modern look that I was trying to go for. And here is the dining table. I did use the one from Island Living, so it's got a little bit of a pattern on the tabletop, which I thought was really pretty. And I was trying not to go black and white monochrome for a modern build. I think it's so easy to do that. I kind of did that with the windows and the exterior a little bit, but I did tie in that more orangey wood tone as well in one of the Island Living wallpapers, so I felt comfortable tying it in a little bit with maybe some gold accents. I don't know, I just tried to find a balance and I feel like it was really hard for me because, again, I keep saying this, but modern is not my style. Like I was building this and I knew it looked good, but I personally didn't like it and I felt uncomfortable trying to make it work. But I think I tied in enough greenery as well with plants and things and some wall decorations to really make it seem cozy, but modern and sleek. That was the goal. But yeah, in the dining room, there really isn't much. There's that little cabinet over in the corner. There's a plant. There are some paintings and like wall decorations. And then I also have an armchair in the corner. I first tried this one from Base Game because I thought it might work, but it didn't have that modern look enough for me. So I did use this one from Dream Home Decorator. I feel like I use that pack a lot now. Maybe not as much as I'm thinking because it was a really nice pack for the build and buy items. And even though I enjoyed aspects of the gameplay, it was still a really solid pack, and I use it so much more than I ever anticipated using it. But yeah, I really liked that armchair there. I also, again, was using the tool mod to size up that rug and size down that plant to what I felt was a more appropriate size for both. I don't know, it just really works. I'm really enjoying the tool mod again, which makes me happy. I don't think I'm going to go nuts with trying to make like incredible structures or a bunch of custom items. I really just like it for scaling, and I'm so glad that I've discovered this finally after using the tool mod on and off for years. And also the fact that I can now use it in build mode is such a lifesaver, because having to do it in live mode was awful. Now this is going to be the living room, and it was really difficult for me to figure out how to structure this living room and how to situate things, because I originally wanted a fireplace, and then I thought, well, it's Sulani. Like I don't think that's going to be necessary. So I scrapped that idea. I had this huge like big screen TV that felt overwhelming for the room. I was trying to use these bookcases to make them look a little bit different. Like I tried to double them up. I tried to cover some of the shelves and maybe keep one as just a full cabinet, but it really just started to get wonky. And this is what I'm talking about, is I don't know how to customize things and make new objects with the tool mod really. So I'm not even going to keep trying, but I did show it on screen just so you guys could see the struggle. And now this is kind of the final layout of this room. I do end up adding another two-seater, the love seat, that's what it is. I ended up adding another love seat just to kind of add a little bit more seating here, but this is the living space. There's that light from Dream Home Decorator, this console table from Spa Day that I pretty much never use, and then I use this side table from Discover University. I shooketh to my core. Didn't know this existed. I maybe have used it once or twice ever in my life because there was a level of familiarity when I pulled it out, but I don't ever recall this object. So I was kind of thrilled to use it here because it gave a little bit of personality to it being a modern item, if that makes sense. And then I just added a piece of wall decor here. I added this painting that was very tropical. I wanted to, of course, highlight that this was more of a tropical setting. I mean, you're literally on the beach. And then I end up putting a desk over here in this corner because I was thinking, if it's a rental lot, if for any reason your sim wanted to send an email to a family member saying that vacation's going well, or if they wanted to check in on work, if they were like super busy when they left for vacation and they had to keep tabs on things going on, I don't know. I just thought it would be nice to have a computer here to add another activity. And also there are jet skis outside. I just want to mention that now because I always forget that we have that object. There are a handful of activities here, and of course you're at the beach, so you can do all of the water activities. But that is pretty much it for the living room, and then we end up moving on to the entryway, which was very big. It was very big for an entryway, in my opinion, but it was mainly because the stairs, if you want to know why the floor planning was so hard, it was the stairs. The stairs were almost impossible to lay out without them coming up right underneath a window on the second floor. That's what was really hard because there's so many windows on the second floor. And I think if I was going to come down to it, not only do I not usually enjoy modern builds, but I think what I struggle with is the fact that there are so many windows and they're usually huge. They might take up an entire wall. And that's really hard to floor plan with, but that is why this entryway is so big. But I do put a plant here. There's a couple of just armchairs. There's that kind of funky looking plant under the stairs too, which I think is from the fitness stuff pack. If my memory served me correctly, I can't remember. It's an odd one. I've used it once. I used it in a museum or something for my previous save file, not even the one that I'm doing now. But yeah, this entryway is pretty much empty for the most part. There's a couple of decorations on top of that console table. I think I add a little chalkboard as well that has a rose on it, so maybe it's kind of a welcome to your little villa, your little rental place. Here are like the rules, here's the Wi-Fi password, like that kind of stuff when you first come in. And since this is the giant sliding door from Eco Lifestyle, your Sims will still be able to walk in even if one side of it, like here where the plant is and everything, is somewhat blocked, because it doesn't matter, it's not the actual doorway. I hope that makes sense. But I'm also able to put curtains there because of that reason. And now we're moving on to the second story. So again, this is just the 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. There's kind of this nice open staircase, and the bathroom has tons of windows, which I thought was going to be really difficult to work with, but it wasn't. We do work on the bedroom first because I knew exactly how I wanted to lay it out. I used this bed here, which I thought was so pretty. I wanted a 4-poster, but I wanted it to be very neutral and have white bedding and everything. And we didn't really have a version of that was neutral enough for me, aside from this, I wanted to use the Island Living one, but it was a little bit too decorative and wasn't modern and simple enough for me. But then I also added an ottoman at the end of the bed, this really beautiful modern wardrobe from Base Game, and this chair here is actually a chair where you can get manicures and pedicures and massages and whatnot. But I did play test it. You might have to shift it ever so slightly to get a pedicure, but when I had my sim relax in that chair, I had no idea that a what is it, like a foot bath? I had no idea that was going to appear. So my sim sat here, a foot bath appeared, they sat back with their feet in the water and just freaking relaxed. I was relaxed watching it. It sparked so much joy for me. I was so happy. But yeah, you might have to shift it potentially just to like straighten it out if you wanted your Sims to get a pedicure, because my Sim was not able to get a pedicure in the chair. But I liked the relaxation feature, and there's another bonus item out on the top balcony, which you guys will see soon. But this is going to be the bathroom, and I wanted to just try to make it a little bit more luxurious than a lot of the bathrooms that I typically make for family homes and whatnot. So I used these windows and I tried to make it kind of this open giant shower. Now, granted, it's up on a raised platform, which theoretically, if there weren't drains, which I think there are with the shower heads that I ended up adding, but if for any reason those were clogged, the water would just pour into the bathroom. We don't have to think about that realism too much because it won't happen, but it was definitely something in my head that popped up. But yeah, I do add these 2 shower heads here, so there could be double showers going on. I don't know. There's also this little stool here with a bar of soap, just kind of trying to add some of those bathroom items. Then there's, of course, the toilet. And then there's this huge wrapping around counter area. And the reason for this, you can slightly see it. Since I used a platform outside and added the windows at the appropriate height because the platform was so high, you can almost see through. You can oddly see through. See, right there. Like right there, that's the platform. It's so odd to me. It got me so upset because I had no idea how I was going to cover it. But I do end up adding a bathtub here as well. And the way that I cover it is I just carry, I think I end up carrying the counters through. I was trying to use this marble console table type thing from Spa Day, I believe. But trying to merge things together and whatnot, it was like flashing and getting glitchy, and I really didn't like it. So I think I might just keep one there, and I keep the counters kind of wrapping around to the double sink. I had a few clutter items on top of that console table as well, just to, again, try to cover up the fact that you could see the platform through it. It was really frustrating. I know it's not a glitch, it's literally just how it works, but I kind of wish that it would just be solid through the window instead, so it didn't look so odd. I don't know, what do you guys think? But there is a double sink here. I have some spare towels, there's candles, some tissues, and I think I just add some soap dispensers by the sink. I didn't add any toothbrush holders because I figured when I'm on vacation, I don't use any existing toothbrush holders at like a hotel or an Airbnb. I just put my toothbrush back. So that was kind of my thought, but I thought it was a really nice bathroom. It's big, it's not extremely decorated, but I thought it was still really nice. And then this is going to be the upstairs patio, the second story patio. There's 2 lounge chairs. I do have this little like lemonade pitcher thing, and then 2 massage tables, which I thought was going to be so lovely. I did play test that and it worked perfectly. My Sims got some hot stone massages out here in a heat wave. Don't know how that would be for anyone, but it worked perfectly and I was so happy. And then I ended up using these ottomans and these meditation pillows, and I turned them to make them look like leaning cushions because I really wanted to use these ottomans, but I wanted it to have kind of a back to it as well. So I used these chairs from Dream Home Decorator and merged them in just so it looked like it kind of had a back leaning up against that half wall. And then I just kind of shifted the cushions around and did another one. So it looks like an elongated couch, but I thought it matched really nicely. So thank you, Toolmod. And then of course there's the pool, which I do add a floaty. And then on the bottom patio, I do add an outside dining table, a grill, and the jet skis. But that is pretty much it for this build. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts, and I'm definitely going to try to do more modern builds in the future, just to really spread my wings and try new things. But I will catch you guys next time I post a video, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.